Hi, I'm Professor Hinch, and this is my How to Make an MLA Document in Google Docs video. Ooh, that's a little clunky. I'm going to have to edit that out later. In the meantime, let's get started. As you can see, I'm already starting on a Google Docs document. This video makes the assumption that you know how to get that far. If you're having trouble getting to the same page that I'm at, please click on one of the links in the video right about now. Okay, let's do this. In traditional MLA formatting, the first 4 lines of your essay should go something like this. You start with your name, in this case, Ryan Hitch, that's my name. You start with the name of your teacher, Professor Doe. My professor's name is Jane Doe in this scenario. Next line is the name of the class. I'm going to say English 100. And then finally, you have the date. Please pay attention to the format of the date. This is something that students commonly mess up. The day needs to be as a numeral 1-8. The month needs to be spelled out, in this case, June. And the year needs to be in numeral form as well, 2020. Once you've gotten about this far, what I want you to do is take your mouse and double click somewhere in the space above your name. This space above your name is called the header. You'll know that you're there when you see this in the left corner, header. That tells you you're in the exactly correct spot. Now what I'd like you to do is go up to the top of your screen, click right align to get your cursor over here on the right side of the page. I want you to type in your name one more time, press the space bar once. Then you need to go up to Insert, scroll down, Page Numbers, and you want to pick the page number where there's a 1 and a 2 in the top right corner of the screen, like so. Excellent. Now double click back somewhere in the body of your essay to get back to the main stuff. Great. After the date, skip a line, center your screen. This is going to be the space where you write your title. Keep in mind, your title should pretty much never be title. It should be something more complex than that, even more complex than Essay 1, Essay 2, Essay 3. Think of something original that could capture your audience's attention. Then skip a line, go back to the left side of the page, press tab once, and start writing your essay. Except wait, there's a big step that we missed. I want you to highlight the entire document now. You can do that by pressing Command A, by pressing Control A, or simply by dragging your clicker across the screen. Now I want you to go to Formatting. I want you to scroll down to line spacing and change this from 1.15 to double. Yeah, that's much better. Depending on how much information you have about MLA formatting, at this point in the video, you may be thinking there's one step I forgot. I did not change the font of this document from 11-point Arial to 12-point Times New Roman. Here's something you may not know about MLA formatting. Why does MLA require the use of Times New Roman font? It's a boring font. I'm getting this information directly from the MLA Style Center, Writing Resources for the Modern Language Association. Well, in fact, if you read the screen that's in front of you, you can see 8th edition MLA formatting does not actually require Times New Roman font. It simply requires a font that is readable. Very big difference there. Now, keep in mind, your teacher may still require you to use Times New Roman font anyway. If that's the case, then please use Times New Roman font. But the reason why I'm using Arial font in this specific example is because Arial font is something called sans serif font, meaning it's a little bit easier for people to read. It doesn't have any of those fancy little squiggles at the end of a particular letter. If you want, just for fun right now, try typing out something like a G or maybe a W or a Q, and you should see at the very end of that letter, if you're typing this out in Times New Roman, that there are these little squiggles at the end of the letter. Madness, I say. Well, in Arial font, without the squiggles, it makes your document a little bit easier to read, which is a really great thing. Now, there's one more thing I'd like to show you, and in order to do that, I need to skip ahead to a completely new page. That's right, I'm going to show you how to format your works cited page. To start, you're going to need to center your document again and write out either works cited like this without the S if you only have one source in your essay, or write out works cited, yikes, works cited with an S if you have more than one work that you're currently citing. At this point, I could write out an actual MLA citation, but I think I'll save that for another video. Instead, I'm going to write out a sentence that is at least 2 lines long so that you can see this interesting Google Docs formatting feature. Great. Now we have a sentence that's 2 lines long. Let's all pretend for just a moment that this is an MLA citation. Well, what do? Because this is not accurate as is. What you need to do to make this MLA appropriate is highlight the MLA citation, go to the top of the screen here, see how there's a small triangle and it's beneath a small rectangle? I want you to click on the small triangle, move it to 0.5, and then I want you to click on the blue triangle and move it back to 0. I'll do that again real quick. Click on the small triangle, move it to 0.5, click on the small rectangle, move it back to 0.0. What you're doing here is you're creating a hanging indent. A hanging indent has a regular first line and all lines after it are indented. The way that I kind of remember this is that it sort of looks like the second line is hanging on for dear life, hanging on to the first line. It's kind of corny, kind of lame. Can't believe I'm recording this, but there you go. That's how I remember. A hanging indent has the second line hanging on for dear life. And well, we look at that. We have an MLA appropriate Google Docs document.